Yeah, we back. Now today, I'm gonna be responding to a video that was brought to my attention because I think it's extremely interesting. It's so many angles, so many directions I can take this topic. But the most interesting thing to me was this video reinforced all of my ideologies that I mentioned before. Everything I said on my channel before, it reinforced it for me. When I say I don't date outside my race, it reinforced it for me. When I told black men life is about power, not morality, it reinforced it for me. So many of the things that I preach on my channel, it reinforced my ideology tenfold. So today, man, we're gonna be talking about this lady on the screen. She goes by the name of Jasmyne Theodora. And she's one of them women on social media, you know, talking about femininity. We teaching femininity. Listen, I'll be honest. I never understood that niche on social media. These women talking about, we gotta teach femininity. We gotta learn femininity. Listen, that's something that should have been taught by your mother, your grandmother, your aunties, the women in your family, right? If you wasn't learning femininity at the age of 8 years old, listen, you can't be learning it at 38. Baby, it's too late. It's too late. Pack it up, man. Pack it up, man. Pack it up. But anyways, man, today we're going to jump into her video. As you can see, the video is entitled A Brutally Honest Conversation About Racial Preferences and Hypergamy. And not wasting no time, man. Not wasting no time. Let's jump into it.
So growing up, I was absolutely inundated with talking points about how Black people are the victims, how we need the white people's help. We need a booster seat to do as well as the white people because we're powerless otherwise. Oh, Black people can't be racist. We have no power. We need reparations. We need affirmative action. Oh, pity the poor Black people. I grew up in one of the whitest and liberal areas in the USA, and I was usually the darkest person in my class, if not the entire school. And whenever we talked about slavery in the US, I'd get concerned and pitiful glances, even though the African part of my family was never enslaved by white people. Almost all discussions about Black people within my school and continuing into college was about how victimized and powerless we are.
All right, we back. Now, listen, I use the term divestor very loosely on this video because as you can see, this woman is a biracial. She is the daughter of a white man and a Black woman. So I don't really look at biracials as divestors because you can't really divest when you're not really all the way invested. Like you're not really part of the family for real like that, not really. So you're not really a divestor, but she is the daughter of a divestor. And I'm going to use this video to drive so many of my points home that I've mentioned in the past, man. It's just so many angles I could take this video. And I'm going to also contrast her upbringing and her mindset and how that has influenced her and shaped her. And I'm going to contrast that with my upbringing and my mindset and how my environment has shaped me to be the man I am today. Now, to set the stage, she already let you know. Wherever she grew up, I don't know what she grew up at, but she said she grew up in some white neighborhood, some white population. She was the darkest person in the room. Now imagine, yo, look at her real quick, bro. Look up on the screen. This woman talking about I was the darkest in the room. Yo, boy. Yo, man, listen. Y'all folks, man, y'all women be out here dating these white men, moving to Iowa, moving to Nebraska, raising these confused individuals, talking about I was the darkest in the room. Bro, oh my God, bro, listen, I'm never dating outside my race, man. I'm never gonna have my progeny walking around on the internet looking like this, man, talking like this, man. Stop it, bro. Anyway, let's continue. Now, the first sign of confusion that is undergoing this individual that you see up on the screen, she said, my African side of the family, we were never enslaved by the white folks. Man, listen, brothers, you remember they said that the biracials with the Black mothers, they said they're more in tune with their Black culture. The biracial with the Black mother is going to be more in tune with their Blackness and knowledgeable about their Blackness. Remember they told us the Black mother is going to pass down the historical, educational, cultural knowledge down to the mixed race offspring. Now, over here, we already knew that was nonsense. We already knew that was bullshit. But that's what they've been telling us. They've been telling us the mixed race offspring of the white man and the Black woman. They said they understand the history, the culture, the nuance. Listen, that's what they said. That's what they said. Now, as you can see, take a look up on the screen, that they obviously lied to us. They obviously lied to us. You know what I'm saying? This lady talking about, I was the darkest in the room. I never seen a Black person for 300,000 miles when I was growing up. Man, listen, bro. This is exactly why Black men like myself had to grab the microphone, man. Because I'm going to contrast her upbringing. Like I said, she grew up with the white folks, with her Black mother and her white father. I grew up around the Black folks with my Black father and my Black mother, and I grew up very, I live very blessed. I had a very blessed upbringing, childhood, so I can bring my perspective to the table as it relates to this discussion, because what she's gonna say a lot. Okay, she's gonna say a lot, and I'm gonna provide my commentary on it. So let's continue.
Name. I think in my second year, I was thankfully exposed to Dennis Prager, who was, I think, the first person in my entire life to say to me over a YouTube video, of course, that Black people are not powerless, that we can shape our own lives without the help of the white man. But unfortunately, I was maybe 20 years old at the time, and...
All right, we back. Now, this lady said the first time she ever heard an empowering message about Black people came from this white man up on the screen named Dennis Prager. All right. She said Dennis Prager was the first person to bring me an empowering message about Black people. She didn't get it from her mother. She didn't get it from her grandparents. She didn't get it from... Wow, man, that's crazy, bro. Because the first person I ever got an empowering message from was from my mother. My mother sat me down. My grandmother sat me down. My father sat me down at the age of 7, 8, 9 years old, put them books in my hand. My first lessons when it came to the history of my people, it came from my household. It came from my home. It came from my parents. It came from my family. It came from my elders. Now, baby, unfortunately for you, your mother married a white man, so she couldn't really give you them lessons. You know, she couldn't sit you down at 7, 8, 9 years old and give you the history of your people because she didn't want to offend her husband. You know, it is what it is. She didn't want to offend her husband, so she couldn't really sit you down at an early age and give you the game like that. You see, I never had those problems. I never had those issues. My mother married a Black man, a highly successful, highly intelligent Black man, big body Benz driving Black man, 7 Series Beamer driving Black man, G-Class riding Black man. Yeah. Versace on the feet Black man. So listen, we are two different people, and I'm gonna contrast our upbringing and our mindset, and I'm gonna really drive my point home. So many different angles I could take this video, but anyway, let's continue.
I was maybe 20 years old at the time, and the damage had already been done, and the bleeding heart white liberal narrative was very much ingrained into me. I still thought of myself and all Black people as powerless victims, especially subconsciously. Luckily, my African mother was very hardworking when I was growing up, and so was my white father, so I had a very positive Black female role model, and I had a very positive white male role model, but unfortunately no positive Black male role model close to me to demonstrate in front of me, like my mom did, that the bleeding heart white liberal talking points about Black people, Black men in particular, were just not apt.
Now, throughout the video, she keeps mentioning my Black mother, my Black mother, my African mother, my African mother, as if that gives her any semblance of credibility. Baby, your mother married a white man. Your mother was a divestor. She moved you to the whitest town she could find, and she raised you amongst the white folks. You even said it yourself. Growing up, you were always the darkest person inside the room. And gathering from the information that you have shared, your mother herself doesn't even want to be Black. Your mother ran away from her history, ran away from her culture, went to the whitest part of the world she could find, found a white man, made some racially ambiguous kids, and didn't even teach you anything about your history. You said it yourself. You had to go on YouTube and learn your history from old white men because your Black mother didn't even care enough to teach you anything about your history. So stop it. Stop talking. Oh my God, my Black mother, my Black mother, my Black mother. Stop it. Your Black mother doesn't even want to be Black. That's why she made you. You are the physical evidence of your Black mother not even wanting to be Black. So stop talking to my Black mother. I'm the one who can brag about my Black mother because my Black mother gave me the game. My Black mother gave me the knowledge. My Black mother gave me the books. My Black mother instilled the teachings into her Black son. Not her biracial son, not her mixed race son. No, her Black son that she made with her Black husband. Yeah. That type of rhetoric is so common amongst the biracials. Oh, my Black parent, my Black parent. Your Black parent didn't even want to be Black. Man, stop it. Man, stop. Get out of here, man. Anyway, let's continue.
Very attractive mates. So growing up, as I was in the dating scene, learning what I found attractive in men, I noticed that I never gravitated towards darker skinned Black men. Not because I didn't find them objectively attractive, because that doesn't make any sense, and not because I thought they were inherently inferior, because I myself am part Black and a lot of my family is Black. My mom's a dark-skinned Black woman and I respect and admire her more than almost anyone. And just yesterday, I realized it's because of the internalized, ingrained pity I have for Black people, Black men in particular, because growing up, the only image of Black men I had was how they were portrayed in the media. Powerless, poor, and victimized, which is the opposite kind of man women want. Women, again, generally want powerful, competent victors. Of course, a woman's subconscious psychology and sex drive is not all that determines who she's going to mate with. She also has her humanity, her intellect, her critical thinking skills. So she knows that only going after the richest men, the most powerful elite men is silly, and that nuance is very important to note. However, she still likely does not want the most powerless of men. Of course, a significant reason why I personally was mostly attracted to white men before I got married is because my dad is white and I had a very positive relationship with him growing up, and women tend to be attracted to men who are like their fathers if they had a positive childhood with them. But that alone still
Listen, baby, she's talking as if this is some type of revelation. Listen, if you're a student of history, especially when you study the interactions between Europeans and Africans, you notice that the mixed race offspring tend to section themselves off into their own communities, form their own communities, their own enclaves. And when you examine the mating patterns of mixed race individuals, you notice they tend to either stay amongst themselves, date and mate amongst themselves and create their own, multiracial communities, or they link up with the white folks. That's been going on for centuries now, man. Like, stop it, bruh. Stop it. And I'm going to bring that point home at the end of the video. Stay with me. And she says the reason why she's not attracted to darker skinned men is because she pities them. I have pity for them. I feel bad for them. Now, listen, this is why black men like myself got to grab the microphone. The black men that grew up having things, the black men that grew up living an amazing life, the black man that does not embody the victim mentality, whatever she calls it. You know what I mean? We got to have the microphone to really set things straight, man, because when we have reached a place where biracials, the daughters of white men, have the microphone and they are speaking with authority, listen, we got to go back to the drawing board, my brothers. We got to go back to the drawing board. Now, am I surprised by your mindset? No, because you are the daughter of a white man. Your mother could not give you an empowering message about black men, because if your mother sat you down as a young girl and gave you the history, gave you the many stories of the many military conquests of black men, African men on the African continent. Just last night, the other day, I did a video where I ran down all the many military engagements between African militaries and European militaries, where African militaries destroyed the invading European militaries. But your mother could never teach you that. Why? Because your white daddy will be offended. Your white father would be offended. He would feel some type of way. But see, me, my mother never had that issue. My mother could sit me down and tell me the real, uncensored, uncut truth about what happened to our people. And she could give me the raw, uncut truth about what the world is really like. But your mother can never give you that. She got to give you the Teletubbies version of life, because you're married to a white man. You were raised by a white man. So your upbringing and your worldview will naturally reflect and be shaped by your environment. So your mother can never really sit you down and tell you how the Ashanti army destroyed the British military and chopped off the head of the British general. She can never tell you that, because your white father will probably be offended. Your mother can never sit you down and tell you that the Europeans invaded Africa starting back in the late 1400s and took losses for damn near 400 years, got smashed on the military battlefield, got demolished multiple times for centuries until they invented the machine gun and they finally started catching some W's. Your mother could never sit you down and tell you about the victorious and glorious history of the black man. But my mother sat me down and told me as soon as I was able to read, they put them books in my hand. So at the end of the day, man, baby girl, you got to go talk to your mother. Go talk to your mother and ask her why she never gave you the game. Ask her why she never gave you the knowledge. Ask her why she never gave you the teachings. Don't come on YouTube talking that nonsense, talking about why you love the white man so goddamn much. Man, we ain't trying to hear it, man. You're not even black for real. We ain't trying to hear it. And then she goes on to say, the reason why I feel the way I do about black men is because of the portrayal in the media. Okay, well, black men do not own these companies that are portraying our image in this negative light. That's the white man that you married to, the white man that raised you. He's the one that invented these media companies and destroyed the black man's image. So go talk to your white father, go talk to your black mother as to what's going on. Don't come on the YouTube talking about, man, listen, I felt bad for black men. That's why I never dated black men. I never dated black men. Listen, baby girl, we ain't trying to hit. We ain't trying to hit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to hit. And that's typically why I don't date outside my race, because a lot of women are very influenced by the media. Like, for example, throughout this video, she keeps mentioning TV shows and movies that she saw that influenced her mentality. I don't want no woman that sits around watching all the goddamn movies and TVs. Oh, listen, I don't want no woman watching too much TV. I don't want no woman that's consumed by the media. Because me, myself, I barely watch TV. I don't even watch TV. So I don't want no woman that's just her mind is warped by TV and movies and the media and Hollywood and things like that. Because if you are consumed by the media and so influenced by the TV shows, and I already know your mentality on how you view black men is going to be very distorted and very unbalanced. But for those of y'all who've been following my channel for a while, you notice that I had said one of the reasons why I was motivated to make a YouTube channel and start creating content was I felt that the black men that came from my background, that came from my upbringing, we never really had the microphone, right? No offense to my brothers in the streets, you know, my brothers, you know, doing their thing in the streets, but I feel like the street dudes was hogging the microphone, bro. How come the drug dealers was hogging the microphone? How come the street dudes was hogging the microphone? What about the black man that went to private school? What about the black man that grew up and his father had a bunch of money? His mother was a professional. What about the black man who never missed a meal? What about the black man whose parents been married for 30 years? We never had the microphone. So the reason why I wanted to make my channel was because black men like myself, it's about time we had the microphone, man. It's about time we had the microphone, you know, because listen, these white dudes and their media companies and their Hollywood studios been slandering the black man's image, and I had enough, bro. I had enough. I had enough of that shit. I had enough. You know, I had enough, bro. I had enough. Now, later on in the video, she goes on to mention hypergamy. Oh, women, you know, we're just naturally hypergamous. You know, women, we are naturally hypergamous. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think it's really about the culture of the people you come from. Now, listen, baby, you are the daughter of a black woman that married a white man, so there is no integrity in your lineage. You know what I'm saying? You were raised by women who had no cultural ancestral integrity, so you can't really speak to me about what it means to be hypergamous and none of that shit, because if I go to a Jewish woman, she's never gonna talk to me about, well, you know, if the Nazis had money, if the Nazis were, you know, rich and powerful, I'm gonna go run off with the Nazi. No, you never go hear a Palestinian woman talk about, well, you know, if the Israelis got money, if the Israelis are powerful, I'm gonna go run off with the Israel. No, you are just following in the footsteps of your mother, and due to the fact that black people as a whole, we have a sellout culture. We justify everything with money. Oh, well, they're committing crimes, but they getting money though. Oh, he's selling drugs, but he's getting money though. Oh, he's a killer, but he got money though. Oh, he's a degenerate, but he got money though. We have a sellout culture amongst our people worldwide, where everything and anything can be justified with money. And the same thing cannot be said for other cultures. Every other culture, every other group of women does not operate based on, well, I'm gonna sell out the whole farm because, oh, they got money though. I'm gonna go sell out the whole race because they got money though. I'm gonna go run off with the ops because they got money though. No, no, no. That's what we do as black folks, because we have a sellout culture. That's why our leaders, our politicians, they sell us out, because we have a sellout culture. Everything can be justified by money. Oh, they got money. Oh, they got money. Oh, everything is justified by money. We are a sellout group of people. We are sellouts. That's what it is. So don't speak for all groups of women. All groups of women are not like you. They're not like us. Stop. If you go to other cultures, they are more in tune with their ancestors and their history, and they have more respect for their predecessors, to where certain behavior would not be accepted by the culture. Certain activity would not be accepted by the culture. But then again, like I said, your mother married a white man, so why am I talking to you about culture? What culture do you know about? I have no culture. Anyway, let's continue.
Successful black men, because I found myself at one time or another attracted to men of practically every other race. And now I finally know why. You're not inherently unattracted to black people when you're part black yourself. This is a learned bias. I internalized the bleeding heart white liberal talking point about black people being victimized and powerless, who could only succeed with the help of white men, like Django, when he could only rescue his wife with the help of King Schultz, played by Christoph Waltz. You know, and
listen, man, after today's video, I hope that we can put to rest that nonsensical idea about how the biracials with a black mother are so in tune with their culture and their heritage and their ancestry and their yo, I'm so glad we can finally put that to rest, man, because this lady's references for black people is Hollywood movies and Netflix TV shows. And man, listen, like I said though, I can't really blame you, because you said it yourself. When you was growing up, you watched your mother submit to a white man your whole life. Your only role model for male leadership your whole life was a white man. See, it was different for me. It was different for me. When I was growing up, I had a black man in my life. I had a role model for leadership. I had a black man in my life who gave me everything I needed. Spent over $100,000 on my education, started from first grade to the end of high school and into college. In the video, she was talking about how Hollywood studios would depict black men as, oh, we need the white man to help us, the white man to come save us, the white man to assist us. You see, me, it was different. My first job out of high school at 17 years old, I was working in the family business. I was working for the black man. I don't know what it's like to work for a white man. I never needed a white man for shit, bro. So that's why I say it's time for black men like myself to grab the microphone, bro. It's time for black men like myself to grab the microphone. I know it's a lot of us out here because I went to school with y'all brothers. We went to school together, bro. Listen, we was on a school bus together. So I know it's a bunch of us out there, bro. Grab the microphone, start speaking your mind, brothers. Start speaking your mind. Grab your image back. Grab your name back. Grab your reputation back. But anyways, let's continue.
men. I probably would have married a white man anyways, even if I didn't have this unconscious bias, because most men in my area are white and my father is white and my husband is just wonderful. But
now, at least towards the end of the video, you know, after she, you know, rambled and ranted and raved, you know, all that word salad, at the end of the video, she just came clean. She said, listen, I probably would have ended up with the white folks anyway, because my dad's white and I grew up with nothing but the white folks and I never been around black folks, and you know, I went to the white schools and I was in the white neighborhood and I never seen a black person till I, you know, I went to college. And that is the truth. That is the honest truth. It's not about the Hollywood movies. It's not because of none of that shit. It's not because of hypergamy. Baby girl, you a white girl. That's what it is. You a white girl. You a white girl. It is what it is. You a white girl. You was raised with the white folks. You was raised by the white folks. You know, you was raised by a woman who wanted to be around white folks. Your mother was a divestor, so she put you around the white folks, and you blended in with the white folks, and you married the white folks, and you're gonna have white kids, and that's it. That's it. I mean, it's very simple, man. It's very simple. That's all it is. You don't gotta do all this. Stop running around the subject. No. The fact of the matter is, you married a white man because your mother married a white man, and you grew up with the white folks, and you went to the white school, and you like white people. Just tell the truth, baby girl. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, baby girl. Tell the truth. Now, before we get out of here, I told you I was gonna examine this woman, and I told you we've seen women like this throughout the ages, man, throughout history. We're gonna talk about how we've seen these women in Africa. We saw these women in the European colonies. We've seen these women down in New Orleans back in the 1800s. We've seen these women, these biracial mixed race women with their black mothers and their white fathers and their white husbands. We are very familiar with you type of women. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Today we're gonna talk about it, man. Because if this woman was so in tune with her culture like she claims that she is, oh, my black mother, my African mother, this, that, and the third, then she would understand the importance that we place in African cultures when it comes to our ancestors, our heritage, our culture, and examining our history, right? So she wants to talk about history, and how that has shaped her worldview on black men. Well, I'm going to talk about how history has shaped my worldview on biracial women. More specifically, biracial women with white fathers and black mothers. Now, take a look up on the screen. Let's talk about the Senores. The Senores, the powerful West African women of the Atlantic slave trade. The Senores were a group of powerful African women in the Atlantic slave trade who controlled the export of enslaved Africans from West Africa to the Americas in the 18th and 19th centuries. The Atlantic slave trade, which lasted from the 16th to the 19th century, was a brutal period in human history that saw millions of Africans forcibly taken from their homes and transported across the ocean to work on plantations in the Americas. It was a trade that was fueled by the greed of European slave traders and enabled by the cooperation of African chiefs, as well as by influential female merchants known as senores. Now, when I look at this woman, all I see is the modern day incarnation of the senores off the West African coast. All I see is the mixed race women that was owning slaves in the European colonies. That's all I see, because the mentality is all the same. And they justify it with money. Oh, hypergamy. All I see is a senore alive in the flesh. Now let's continue. Who were the senores? The term senore comes from the Portuguese word senhora, which means lady. It was used to refer to the African women who were married to European traders or were in a relationship with them. Senores were usually of mixed race, and their children were referred to as mulattoes. These women were highly respected in their communities, and they used their power and influence to benefit their families and their business. Possessing knowledge of African and European cultures and the ability to speak multiple languages, they played a critical role as intermediaries in the trade of goods, slaves, and gold and textiles in the region. The rise of the senores can be traced back to the 18th century when European traders began to establish trading posts along the West African coast. As the trade in enslaved Africans grew, European traders began forming relationships with local women, resulting in the birth of mixed-race children. As these mixed-race children matured, those who married European traders came to be known as senores. Anna Colas Pepin, born in 1787 to a French father and an African mother, was one of the most famous senores in Senegal. She married a French naval officer named Nicolas Pepin, and together they built a prosperous trading network that spanned the region. Anna was highly regarded for her astute business acumen and ability to navigate the intricate trade relations between West Africa and Europe. Another influential Senore was Anne Rossignol, a renowned businesswoman and slave trader who hailed from Gourbi Island. She migrated to Saint-Domingue in 1775. Saint-Domingue is Haiti in the modern day. She migrated to Haiti in 1775, where she became one of the wealthiest free-colored businesswomen in the colony. Yeah. During the Haitian Revolution, she emigrated to South Carolina and is considered the first free African to have migrated voluntarily and freely to the United States. Dame Portuguese, the daughter of a Portuguese man and an African woman, was also a noteworthy Senore. Based in Rufisque, she established herself as a slave trader and a merchant, serving as a vital conduit between the Portuguese and the African rulers of the area. Through her connections with both parties, she effectively controlled the entire business between the Europeans and the Africans in the region. The practice of European traders marrying locals for commercial alliances gradually declined in the mid-19th century for several reasons. The abolition of slavery in Senegal in 1848 was a major contributing factor. Moreover, colonial officials became less tolerant of Senore marriages and relations as they believed it disrupted the established racial hierarchy and social structure. Additionally, with the increasing dominance of European powers in Africa, the economic and political landscape began to change. As a result, European merchants and officials had less need for Senore partnerships, which led to a gradual decline of the practice. So essentially, the reason why the Senore and European relations began to decline was because it was no longer useful. It wasn't about love. They had no love for you, goofy. They had no love for you. It was all about politics. It was all about getting money. That's all it was about. And as soon as they had no use for you, they stopped fucking with you. And I touched on this topic in a video a while back entitled The Political Impact of Divestors. That's a classic. Go check it out. But anyways, before I get out of here, I want to go into a comment in her comment section that was interesting to me because it really shows you that everybody is simply a product of their environment. Take a look up on the screen. This lady said, "Your perspective is so interesting to me. As a biracial woman from a German mother and an African-American father, I feel the opposite. My dad and my older brother served as positive role models for what a girl should look for in a man. I never felt pity towards black men, only those I've seen take a bad turn in life. But I've also seen white men and men of other races go down the wrong path too. Growing up in a smallish big city and being exposed to diversity all my life elucidates the outlook on life too. Interesting to hear your perspective." So listen, that's a biracial woman who had black men in her life, her black father, her brother, whatever. And that goes to show the difference, man. Everybody is a product of their environment. This lady right here, Jasmyne, she said herself, she had no black men growing up in her life. She had no black folks growing up in her life. So naturally, she gravitated to the white folks. And instead of just admitting that, she wants to put all this extra sauce on it, talking about Hollywood and Django and talking about all this dumb shit. Baby girl, stop it, man. Stop it. Anyway, it's your boy Nefagari, Celine, back in the building. Yes, indeed. Cash App up on the screen. Gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in the ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching me blocking my vision. Get for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.